Now, Eyewitness News NightBEAT.
Good evening to you. The shots are fired on a busy street, but this is no target practice.
Yes, real bullets coming from cars, and the victim, an innocent young mother, is caught in the crossfire. Tonight, she is recovering, but her assailant is still out there somewhere. NightBEAT reporter Donna Savarese is live at the Hartford Police Department where the investigation is underway. Donna?
Al, tonight police are still on the lookout for 2 cars involved in a gun battle that injured that woman and the suspects inside the cars, and police are asking for your help. The gunfire erupted by the Shell station on the left. Tonight, stepped-up police patrols and more officers reassigned to work the beat.
Hello.
The wild scene happening blocks away from where these kids play ball. So you say it's an everyday thing?
Yeah, I hear it a lot, so I ain't used to it. I was standing here waiting for my kids to come from school, and I heard the gunshots start down there. It got closer and closer and closer, and I grabbed this son here and put him down to the ground.
Were you afraid for your life at that time?
Mine and my child.
Police recovering the casings from 10 9mm bullets spanning a 3-block area on Albany Avenue in the city's north end after the occupant of the first car headed east pointed a weapon at a second.
For some reason, they started firing. One of the stray bullets struck a lady in the hip on the corner, but a totally innocent bystander.
The woman, Ruth Navarro, was simply walking down the street. Police say a drive-by shooting is pretty unusual here in the daylight. Shooting hoops is top priority for these neighborhood youths who say that this section of Albany Avenue has actually gotten a lot safer since this basketball court went in last summer.
There's less of violence and more people coming down here to play basketball.
More constructive way for them to spend their time?
Yeah, instead of causing violence on the street.
People come down here and have fun because this is where we live at and stuff.
So you're surprised that that happened earlier in the day?
Yeah, I'm surprised that happened.
Now here is a description of the car that police say fired first. It is a Jeep Cherokee, dark tan in color, with tinted windows and Connecticut plates, possibly with the numbers 945. Now car number 2 is a police-style Ford LTD, blue in color with homemade tinted windows and a broken rear window. As for the victim, Ruth Navarro, was treated and released from St. Francis Hospital. Back to you folks in the studio.
And Donna Savarese live at Hartford Police Headquarters tonight.
Hundreds of angry state prison guards swarmed into the grounds of the state capitol today, complaining about not having had a pay raise in 4 years and blasting both the governor and the legislature for rejecting an arbitrator's award last week. It would have given the correction officers a 4% retroactive increase and 2 more pay hikes next year. The governor has offered smaller increases coupled with a $4,000 bonus. He thinks it's a good deal for the guards and the state.
Than any other state employee contract, it's better than the private sector. So I would love to see these guys march on down to the Union Hall and take a vote. I don't think their leadership has been fair with them.
The governor says his proposal would increase the average correction officer's yearly salary from $33,000 to $39,000 over the next 4 years. And he says the guard's 36-hour work week will not change.
Now, the correction officers argue tonight that they deserve the better deal that was arrived at by the arbitrator because they say their workplace is like no other. They have to spend their days with some of the meanest, most violent people in Connecticut. NightBEAT reporter Dennis House is live now at the state capitol where the guards rallied today, and we're telling their horror stories. Dennis?
Yeah, we'll get to those stories in just a moment. But first, according to the union, on average, at least one prison guard is beaten by a prisoner at least once every day in Connecticut. And the guards union also estimates that 80% of the people who rallied here today have either been beaten, stabbed, threatened, or humiliated. And by that, I mean having human waste thrown at them at least once during their career. So they are asking the governor and state lawmakers to take that under consideration and reconsider their last offer.
In the sea of guards, you could see the scars of their chosen profession.
It's a razor.
Brothers and sisters, could you please
was an ink pen.
Picking up some of the large pieces of paper?
And there were scars you couldn't see.
I was sexually molested by an inmate.
Almost everyone here has a story to tell about a day at work.
I just felt somebody grab my breast from the back, and it was the inmate. And he was moaning and groaning and just rubbing his groins on my buttocks.
Greg was sliced in the throat in September. I was attacked with another guard. Received 50 stitches in my leg.
According to the union, 346 guards were attacked by inmates last year. This guard says the terror can even spread outside the barbed wire when they run into an ex-con.
He told me that I was lucky that I was with my son because if I wasn't with my son, he would kill me.
The guards say they're not complaining. They know it's part of the job to be outnumbered by rapists, drug dealers, and convicted killers, some of whom craft lethal weapons out of just about anything.
What upsets me is we did accept the job, okay? When I took that job, I had friends saying you couldn't pay me $1 million to take that job, so I don't think, no matter what that figure is, I'm not being overpaid.
Now, the union's next move is unclear, although we're told by a spokesman tonight they definitely will not go on strike. Al?
That is House Live at the state capitol tonight.
A Rhode Island man is out on bail tonight. He's charged with making counterfeit slot tokens and distributing them at 2 Connecticut casinos. Police say that 55-year-old Louis Calvecchio distributed the bogus tokens at the Foxwoods Resort Casino and the Mohegan Sun Casino, too. Losses reportedly totaled $25,000 for Foxwoods and $11,000 for the Mohegan Sun. The Alex Kelly rape retrial begins tomorrow, but tonight there's a victory for the prosecution. Jurors will hear all about his 8 years on the lam in Europe. Kelly was arrested back in 1986 for the rapes of 2 teenage girls. His first trial, you may recall, ended in a mistrial last November. We'll have continuing coverage of the Kelly retrial. Eyewitness News will have live reports from Stamford tomorrow.
An Eyewitness News follow-up to an investigation we broke here last night. Energy-saving fluorescent light bulbs in homes and offices everywhere could pose a safety hazard. Those small diameter bulbs with electronic ballasts may overheat. We found manufacturers have apparently been aware of the hazard for 2 years and have already fixed the screw-in types that are found in most homes. They claim that fluorescents are the probable cause of the fire last month at the Weston Street Jail in Hartford is what sparked our investigation.
A follow-up to a story we showed you last night, Into Trouble on the Tracks. You'll be seeing more warnings about how to stay safe at railroad crossings. New public service announcements are going on the air. They'll be aimed at preventing the 1,000 deaths and 2,000 injuries that happen every year.
A follow-up to a story the NightBEAT broke last month. A couple whose 3-year-old daughter was accidentally left on a school bus is suing the city of Bristol. The girl woke up alone at the Terryville Road bus yard of Ryder Transportation. The driver had apparently never made a final check of the bus interior before he put it out of service.
Follow-up to a story we told you about some teed-off golfers. Tonight, the state Senate passes a bill that would force country clubs to give women equal access to tee times, restaurants, and other club amenities by letting courts pull their liquor licenses. The bill passed the House last week, and it now goes on to Governor Rowland to sign. The question now is the weekend going to be good enough for golf? I know you want to know about that.
Always. Hilton Kaderli has a first look at Connecticut's most accurate forecast tonight.
I tell you what, the weekend is going to be better for golf than tomorrow will be, because we've got a weather front off to our west that's going to bring us the threat of showers, maybe afternoon thunderstorms tomorrow. So for tonight, increasing clouds, chance for a passing sprinkle. Of course, these nighttime hours aren't really your prime golf hours. Tomorrow, partly sunny skies when you wake up, temperatures in the low 50s, but by afternoon a cold front comes through with a chance of a thunderstorm. So Al, Gayle will have the full 5-day planner coming up, and that does offer a lot of hope, not only for golfers, but just anybody who likes to be outside. Stay tuned.
All right. Thank you, Hilton. An unbelievable story out of Atlanta tonight involving rape, AIDS, and children. Police say that 2 sisters who were 2 and 4 years old were raped by a man with AIDS. It happened, they say, after their crack-addicted aunt took $15 from that man to buy drugs. When authorities arrived, they found the man and the aunt being beaten by the children's grandmother and other mothers in the neighborhood. The girls' parents reportedly did not know that this was going on. The aunt and the man have been arrested and face criminal charges. Also making news around America tonight, the death toll is up to 5 after fire engulfs a home for mentally retarded adults and the elderly. It happened in eastern Pennsylvania. 7 survivors remain hospitalized tonight. Nearly 200 firefighters worked all morning long to put out this fire. Firefighters have yet to determine the cause here.
A horrifying discovery in Florida for a woman who found the head of a bull in the middle of a field near her home. And her ex-boyfriend admits having the animal butchered for money. The two had been fighting over who owned the animal. She says she considered it a pet. Authorities took down the head and allowed the woman to bury it.
A frightening sight for drivers in New Hampshire today when a single-engine seaplane crashes and lands upside down right on the southbound lanes of Interstate 89 near the Lebanon airport. The pilot survived and remained conscious the whole time, and there were no injuries on the ground either. Very lucky.
Definitely so. They commit all types of crimes, and they're supposed to do the time, but they don't always do it quietly. Tonight we have an I-Team investigation that shows you what it costs when prisoners take the state to court, and whether these lawsuits really have legal legs to stand on.
Also ahead on the Night Beat, should eggs come with warning labels? You might get that impression after what you're about to see.
And later, an unlikely friendship in the animal world. See who holds the title Cat's Best Friend. How about that? The Night Beat is coming right back.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News. This is Connecticut's news station.